The format rotation in the Pokemon trading card game is finally happening on April 14th, and frankly, it can't come soon enough. In this video, we will talk about why the general feeling is of excitement, and what changes, if any, we can expect. So why did it take so long though? Well, for starters, the Scarlet and Violet set was delayed for some reason, and we've been playing the same format since November of 2022. That's never happened before, and no, Crown Zenith doesn't count because it only added 2 good cards to the metagame. No Radiant Eternatus fans, it is not a good card, sorry. Neither Samacenta nor Skyseal Stone fundamentally made any new decks or changed existing ones enough. It's still an amazing set though, don't get me wrong. The artwork is unparalleled and I wish I had infinite money to spend on it. It's hard not to get attached to cards we've been playing with since February 2020. Especially staples such as Oranguru, Quick Ball, Marnie, Scoop Up Net, Aurora Energy, Powerful Energy, Ordinary Rod, Amazing Rare Pokemon, and others. The format is losing a lot of cards that are relevant to current top decks. That will surely shift things for the future. For better or for worse, some strategies will get stronger, others will falter, but the core mechanics that we've come to know and love, such as Lugia V-Star's Summoning Star, Lost Box's versatility, and Mew VMAX's incredible draw engine will remain viable. The following is a list of cards that the current top decks will no longer have access to with rotation. If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 20% off for your superfoods at Amaranthi. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Lugia V-Star loses Amazing Rare Yveltal, Amazing Rare Raikou, Oranguru, Marnie, Quick Ball, Powerful Energy, Capture Energy, Aurora Energy, Speed Energy, Hiding Energy, Wash Energy, Heat Energy, a lot of very key core components of the deck. Mew VMAX only loses Quick Ball. Lost Box loses Galarian Zigzagoon, Oranguru, Scoop Up Net, Quick Ball, Ordinary Rod, Air Balloon, Training Court, and Capture Energy. Regigigas loses Marnie, Ordinary Rod, Scoop Up Net, Quick Ball, Twin Energy, Capture Energy, Aurora Energy, and Speed Energy. Hisuian Gudra V-Star loses Quick Ball, Scoop Up Net, and Capture Energy. Finally, Dralaton VMAX loses Marnie and Quick Ball. 2 decks will completely disappear. These are Vikavolt V, as it loses Vikavolt V itself, Ditto V, Crobat V, Galarian Zigzagoon, Marnie, Quick Ball, Scoop Up Net, Air Balloon, Training Court, and Speed Energy, and Eternatus VMAX completely disappears as well, as the Eternatus VMAX, Eternatus V, Crobat V, Galarian Zigzagoon, Marnie, Quick Ball, Capture Energy, and Hiding Energy are gone. These decks will simply cease to exist, but all the others have the possibility to adapt, with some decks more easily so than others, and to varying degrees of strength too. So now, let's talk about what the new format will look like and what top decks you can get ready to sleeve and start getting game time with. The new E Onwards format, or Eon for short, is a welcome one, along with the introduction of the new, or old, EXs into the game. We've already gotten a good glimpse at the metagame over on the Asian continent, with tournaments already taking place in Hong Kong and Japan featuring the Eon format and showcasing the new metagame and decks. So far from what I've seen, the new Scarlet and Violet cards are a bit underwhelming, and the Terastallation mechanic is pretty dull to say the least. This tends to be the trend for brand new eras though, as the original EXs from Ruby and Sapphire from all the way back to 2004, the first GXs from Sun and Moon back in 2017, and the first VMAX Pokemon from the Sword and Shield era in 2020. It's no surprise none of these EXs scream completely broken, but they're setting a base power line that will then be power crept little by future EXs. If they instead had released incredibly powerful ones that immediately overshadowed VMAXs and V-Stars, then that would make a lot of players unhappy as their brand new cards would be deemed unusable. So they need to phase that out in a slow process with progressively more powerful EXs, along with paving the way for a future Scarlet and Violet block. With that in mind, we do seem to have a good balance to start of the Eon format with familiar and new faces alike, along with some potential hidden gems that I will personally be looking forward to exploring in the near future as we head into the final stages of the 2022-2023 season. So what are the top decks of the format, you ask? Well, here's a quick overview based on tournament results from Japan, where they now have been playing this format for a couple of months, and the dust has settled for which decks are deemed the most powerful and also the most popular and viable. Giratina V-Star, a deck that dominated the scene for a solid 2 months, and then completely dropped from the face of the earth once Lugia V-Star came out. However, post-rotation variants of Lugia V-Star are based on single strike strategies, and are less powerful it seems, which has led to this deck being 30% of the meta share of post-rotation tournaments, akin to Lugia V-Star towards the end of the previous rotation. Giratina V-Star has been paired with both the typical Lost Zone engine featuring Comfey, Cramorant, Sableye, Colress's Experiment, and Mirage Gate, but some variants featuring the combination with Arceus V-Star have also been doing pretty okay. Lugia V-Star, the deck that everyone loves to hate, unsurprisingly, is still really good. Even though Lugia V-Star lost a lot of the main attackers and special energy it used, it has somehow found a way to adapt by including the single strike package into the deck, and is proving to still be a force to be reckoned with 2 options being Tyranitar V and Stonechurner, or Umbreon VMAX and Single Strike or Shifu VMAX, depending on your preference or playstyle. You have great type coverage with Dark and Fighting type respectively, as well as the bonus damage from Single Strike energy, allowing you to make sure you're hitting the right numbers to 1-KO your opponent's Pokemon every time. Lugia V-Star no longer holds the crown of undisputed best deck in the format, but it will still be a formidable competitor in the Aeon format, so don't put your Lugias in your binder just yet. It shouldn't be a surprise that Lost Box variants are top contenders in the upcoming format. Despite losing a key card in Scoop Up Net, they generally don't lose much else. Of course, their Rayquaza Raikou variant is no longer usable, and that makes me very sad. However, all the other attackers are still legal, and a Sky Seal based variant was able to win the biggest Aeon format tournament to date, featuring over 3,000 Masters players. Pure single prizer variants and Sky Seal Stone variants will certainly be top contenders and function just as well as they did towards the end of the previous rotation. If you thought 30% of meta share of Lugia V-Star was annoying, now it looks like around 50% of the meta share will be occupied by Lost Zone based decks. Whether it's single prizers or Giratina V-Star, Comfey seems to be the deck to beat. And no, Klefki is not a great counter. What is dead may never die is the best way I can describe Mew VMAX. Heavy Path to the Peak plus Marnie spelled disaster for this deck, yet it still lived on. Drapion V was printed, and yet this deck still performed at the very top. And now, with the only big loss for this deck being Quick Ball, this deck will continue to live on. Mew VMAX is a formidable and versatile Pokemon, and if Lugia V-Star features the best energy accelerator ever printed in Arceus, this deck might feature the best self-sustaining draw engine ever printed, Genesect V. It is that good. And you draw so many cards that you can essentially count on drawing what you need every turn to a certain extent. Add to that the aid of Forest Seal Stone, and some average Cramomatic flips, and this deck is so strong it can even use a card that should, by all intents and purposes, shut it down, Path to a Peak, to its own benefit. It's no surprise Lugia V-Star is featuring Dark-type Pokemon attackers, and Lost Box decks are playing Drapion V with Sky Seal Stone. Whether it's the pure double turbo energy version, or Meloetta based, Mew VMAX is that good. Still. As far as Scarlet and Violet EX Pokemon go, Gardevoir EX has received a lot of mixed feelings and reviews, and I did mention earlier that they have felt a bit underwhelming when compared to V-Star Pokemon. However, Gardevoir EX proved its might with a big showing occupying 2 top 8 spots in the 3,000 player tournament mentioned before. With a self-integrated engine with Curlius Refinement and Gallade's Body Catch abilities, good single prize attackers in Gardevoir and Gallade, along with an amazing ability that breaks one of the integral rules of Pokemon, attaching more than 1 energy per turn, you have all the qualities necessary for a fantastic Pokemon card. The catch? Being a stage 2 Pokemon, it's really hard being one of those these days, but seems like Gardevoir EX is just good enough to be able to keep up with the other top decks mentioned before. The card has been played solo or even sometimes combined with Mewtwo V Union, with the former having more success as of the writing of this video. Miraidon EX is especially similar to Zacian V. Thankfully, there's no lightning type ADP to make it completely broken though. Instead, it pairs with Regieleki VMAX, allowing it to push the boundaries of the damage it does in order to KO V-Star and VMAX Pokemon. However, this comes at the cost of having multiple 3-price targets on the bench for your opponent to target down. The Tandem Unit ability is incredible to help with early game consistency to set up your board. Coincidentally, another similarity shared with Zacian B. It also abuses the new Electric Generator item to easily power up. Although it is a little too random for my taste, the card is inherently powerful. There is the potential to play Fluffy and even Ampharos EX with it too, but so far this seems to be just short of the power level of the previous decks, but a popular choice nonetheless. These 6 decks are by far the most viable and popular, but that doesn't mean there isn't potential for other decks to shine in the Eon format. Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, Kyurem VMAX, Palkia V-Star, Pure Arceus V-Star builds, amongst others, still have potential and are probably not yet fully explored. The issue being, these cards are balanced, and their attacks, abilities, and potential are great, but the previous decks mentioned are above and beyond on a different broken level. Having said that, I do believe there's 2 Pokemon V-Star that I always felt were a little short of being really good in previous formats before rotation. And with the game potentially slowing down a bit, I definitely want to explore them more as they are favorites of mine. The first one being Regidrago V-Star. At first touted as the new Mewtwo and Mew GX, it quickly showed that in the current metagame it was simply not good enough. However, in the Eon format, this card checks all the boxes in my eyes. 1-hit KO potential against Rulebox Pokemon with Giratina V-Star, defensive potential with Goodra V-Star, bypass annoying effects with Duraludon VMAX, power up follow-up attackers with Dragonite, punish heavy ability usage with Flapple, or heavy special energy usage with Appleton, and no weakness. If that isn't enough to convince you to give this Pokemon a try, I don't know what is. Of course, playing all of that in a single deck is probably a little too much, and you need to prioritize depending on the metagame at the time. This is definitely a card that I felt was just shy of being really good before the Eon format, so I plan on tweaking it a lot and you can probably expect a video on it soon. The other Pokemon that I really like is Hisuian Zorg V-Star. This card had a little bit of success during the Astral Radiance metagame. However, it quickly fell short to Giratina V-Star and eventually would just be surpassed in every aspect by Lugia V-Star. However, with all the cards lost by Lugia V-Star, this card can certainly do some things better than Lugia V-Star can, as the requirements to use this and power it up are a little easier. It features 1-hit KO potential against Rulebox Pokemon, it has defensive potential versus single prizers through Share and Scare, can remove its weakness through Dunsparce, its V-Star ability helps with consistency, and let's face it, the card looks freaking cool. That last one is a joke, of course, but I generally like this card as a whole, and feel like it could be good, especially due to the colorless support of Dunsparce and Share and Scare, potentially helping it deal with some of the top threats, such as single prize based Lost Box decks, and the fighting type attackers in Lugia V-Star decks. Will either of these options pan out, or will they be big flops? I really don't know, but I will be putting in the time to find out. Hopefully this video helps you out with a solid understanding of what to expect in the upcoming rotation. I will be making more detailed videos for each of the top decks, along with any other surprises as we get closer to the first big tournament for us featuring the Eon format, EUIC. Thanks so much for watching the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment if you found it useful, or if you think there's something I overlooked. Until next time!